Sonia is and has been a fashion designer in Derby for quite some time now. So this is the intimate, in conversation bit. We're going to talk a little bit about fashion, we're going to talk about Derby, being an entrepreneur. So we're going to get into it.
Amazing.
So my first question to you, I've got to ask you basically how you got into fashion. How did it all happen? How did it all come about?
So if we're going to go way back to the beginning, I did the whole traditional school thing, education, went to college, and I was like, right, so I need to get to uni just because my friends were going. So I was like, I need to make sure I just pass college and my A-levels, and that's my thought process. Absolutely love fashion. Did not think I could have a career in it at all, just because it's not really taught in school. So I studied English, psychology, and textiles. Textiles was my little bit of fun on the side, just something that I wanted to do, and failed psychology and English. Well, actually, no, I didn't fail English, but my textile teacher, I created this dress, and I hand-stitched this extravagant dress within like 2 hours, and we had like 16 hours to complete the project. And she pulled me to one side, and I was crying because like she was like, "You've not got into the next year." And I was like, "Oh, I need to go uni. I need to like fit in. I want to be like everyone else." And she was like, "No." She just sat me down. She's like, "You are a creative." And I was like, "What is that? Like, what does that mean?" I was like, "I don't want to be a creative." I was like, "I won't be able to have a career as a creative person." And she was like, "No, you need to go to college and you need to study fashion." She goes, "Because you have the eye for it." And I was like, "I absolutely love it. And I would love to do it as a career, but what is there out for me?" I had no idea. She guided me. Oh, she was brilliant. She was like, "Right, I'm going to ring up the college and get you booked in." And it happened so quickly. I wiped my tears away and I was like, okay, if this is for me, I'm going to go try it and give it a go. And I spoke to my parents and they were like, "Yeah, that's absolutely fine. We support you no matter what." They didn't understand it either, but it was my new journey after that. That's kind of where it all started. I went to college, I did fashion, photography and textiles there. Absolutely fell in love with fashion. I designed like a little collection and had a whole runway, and I was like, "This is amazing." I was like, "I want to do this forever." And then I applied for universities, and I then went on to study fashion at Leeds College of Art. And that was the most amazing 3 years I did it, I think. 3 years of my life.
Yeah.
Absolutely had the best time. That's when it really solidified for me. Fashion was just
exactly what
inside me. Yeah, I was like, I just love it. And I studied styling in London too, so I was that committed. Monday to Friday I would study in Leeds. On the weekends I would go to London and study a fashion styling course. I couldn't get enough, so that was amazing. So that's my educational journey into fashion, and I got a first class honours degree, which means nothing at all. But
an amazing achievement.
But it's amazing. But I also want to tell people that there's no pressure, because I know someone who didn't get as good, and she's now doing phenomenal things. So education.
I think
there's no system. It's more so hard work, and
it's a common theme, I think, and we've talked about it at Creative Mornings before about how so many people didn't even realise that being creative in whatever way, shape or form that took was an option. And I think still, even now, there's a lot of children out there coming through the education system, and being creative isn't a job option. It's not something they're told about, talked about.
Well, I say this to people. I'm like, there's two things we need. It's food and clothes, because we can't walk around naked. So fashion is extremely important. Whether you see it as fashion or clothing, we have to wear clothes. So it's, and I always say, why not look amazing every day? If you have the option to. So that's why I wanted to kind of educate people on how to look and feel the absolute best. So, yeah.
Oh, very good. And how did you get in? I mean, it kind of comes on to my next question about being a kind of fashion entrepreneur. So you're obviously bitten by the bug.
Yeah.
How did you take that into being a fashion entrepreneur? How do you find being a fashion entrepreneur in Derby?
Yeah, so that's one thing I definitely knew. I was like, I wanted to own a business. So at school, I was like, I'd love to own a business one day. And I could visualize this business. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I just love to kind of run my own show. And I had my own thoughts about things. I was like, I'd love to bring things to life. And I was like, the only way I could do that and have that freedom was to own my own business. So that was always inside me. When I left university, that's when I found the reality of the fashion industry. It was just awful.
Okay.
I did internships for free and I was going to London for free. I understood the hustle. I was like, I was Googling, how long does this last for? How long will I have to work for free for? Like, I need to start making money. So I had a part-time thing as well. And that kind of took its toll on me, and I started to kind of not like the fashion industry as much.
Okay.
I started to resent the fashion industry for kind of how they were moving and the long hours, but you just I didn't feel as if I had a voice. It was kind of like...
Is that still the case? Are people expected to intern for free? I mean, in my head, that feels quite American.
Yeah.
I can see some nods in the crowd, this idea of interning for free.
I think interning for free, if it's in a comfortable environment, if it's close by, or if it's, something that... But I was going all the way to London to do it, and that was taking a toll on me. It's... I don't know, it works in different ways. But it got to a point where I built up I got my full degree and I was still working for free. So I was like, you know what, screw this, I'm gonna run a business. Absolutely love styling. So let's rewind back to when I was at university. I did a project with Louis Vuitton.
Wow.
Which I won, which was amazing, which was the biggest achievement I got throughout university. And through that, I got a job at Louis Vuitton, and I was meeting high net worth individuals who had a lot of money but didn't know how to dress, and I didn't have the time. So
I'm slightly reassured by that. I don't know if someone's feeling that money doesn't mean style. Yeah, good.
It definitely doesn't. And I was just helping them source clothes. I was like, oh, this is fun. And then it kind of grew in Leeds. So I was acquiring clients and working with clients, and I was like, oh, this is really fun, like personal shopping for people, really enjoyed it. But then something was missing. I was like, I want to dress like the average woman, I don't want them to have to feel like they need a high budget. I want to show them that they don't need a high budget, but we can definitely work on your everyday looks and things like that. So I came back to Derby and started a styling business. And that's kind of how my entrepreneurship started in Derby.
Yeah.
And then, shall I continue?
I
could talk forever.
Yeah, keep going. So was it coming home because it was comfortable to come home and set up your business at home and support here and the community here?
That's another thing. I missed home so much.
Yeah.
For me, family is the most important thing over business, over anything. Family is just like number one. So my thought process was I'll come home and I'll figure it out and see where life takes me. I applied for different design jobs and things like that. I did a few things in Leicester, which I absolutely hated. That's when I realised the hustle in Leicester was as bad as the workshops in China and things like that, the horror stories that you hear. So I was like, this is just not for me. And then I continued styling. I met some amazing businesswomen in Derby who helped me so much. And I thought that for me, it was just about being brave and having conversations with people about what I did and being confident enough to know who I was and what I was delivering was going to be good. So I then acquired a few clients in Derby. And then I went to India and I got a coat made. And I wore this coat in Derby, and clients would see it at networking events and that's really nice, where's that from? And I was like, well, I can get you one made if you want. And that's how the fit started, the tailoring side of what I did. I went from having 3 coats to having a full range of women's wear. And then I also launched menswear too, in tailoring.
Wow.
And
do you find it's something that people are not familiar with? I mean, I wouldn't, just as an
So
average
not familiar,
person,
yeah.
I wouldn't even know really that was an option, to have someone come and say, oh, you should try this and have a look at that. And
It was
actually we can
not.
make that for you. And
I still don't understand how I did it, to be honest. It was, do you know what it is? It's the support I got from the Derby community. And I feel like you are, and this is how strongly I believe about you are your identity. The way you dress, the way you present yourself and things is so incredibly important. Before you even say anything, people can already kind of get an idea of who you are and things like that. So personal style was so important. And I just kind of slowly educated people on that and started doing small events around Derby and just getting the awareness out there, and then being brave enough to contact people that I didn't necessarily think that would work with me, and having honest conversations with them, saying this is what I do, and then it just grew. And what really kind of was a pivotal moment for me was when I won the Rising Star.
this is the marketing
Derby, yeah, and that really helped with my confidence and educating people on what I did. And then people were just contacting me. So people would wear the stuff and then they'll see it on other people and it kind of would snowball like that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's how it would.
I love the idea that, you know, it was born out of that community support. I'm massively into Derby's kind of business and creative community and how powerful that can be. And this is a perfect example of the power, the profile raising, the people you can meet.
And you'd be so surprised how supportive people actually are. There's a lot of people that I look up to in the Derby business community, and just contacting them and saying, can I just talk to you for 10, 15 minutes? And just pick your brains about how you've got to this point. I'm so interested, like I'm a listener.
Yeah.
I love listening to people's stories and seeing how far they've come and their experiences and how do they deal with backlash? How did they get to the point? How to become resilient in entrepreneurship? Because it's so important to become resilient. So I felt like the only way I could do that was to talk to other business people. Didn't necessarily have to be in the same field as me, but just generally speaking to other business entrepreneurs and seeing how far they've come was incredible. So that really helped.
That community is really powerful, isn't it? I think there's probably lots of nods around the room when we talked about Derby's community and that supportive element and how important it can be for people.
And it's also just knowing that there's a lot of people that are willing to support you, which is really comforting as well. It's nice. And not to fear talking to people about things that you don't necessarily want to ask, like those uncomfortable questions about business and what is the reality of business. We think that business is such an amazing thing, but in actual fact, it's so hard.
It's a grind.
Because you are everything. You are your admin, you are your finance person. I mean, if you get to the point where you can delegate, it's incredible. But when you start off, it's extremely hard. I had a conversation with a lady who I look up to so much, and I think she's incredible. She said to me, and this will move on to what I'm doing now, a business conversation. I was like, this is what I'm doing now. And she's like, you can't scale this business. And I can't scale that business, the tailoring business. I couldn't scale it to the point where I want it to be.
Yeah.
It just wasn't scalable. It wasn't the big business that I envisioned in my mind. I couldn't create it with the tailoring, and it was taking too much of my time, and my goal for where I wanted to be, I couldn't achieve that goal if I didn't kind of stop that side of the business. And I think the pandemic was the pivotal moment for me. I was in tears because I was like, oh my God, like I've got no suppliers, I've got nothing, like I literally can't do anything right now.
Your world must have literally
stuck.
stopped.
It stopped. It completely stopped. But this is why I say family is the most important thing, because my family supported me, not financially, but emotionally. Like they said, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's just a small moment of your life that you've just got to overcome. And you have two options. You can either drown in your sorrows, or you can turn it into a positive and do what you've wanted to do for so many years. So I took it as a positive, and I started to do what I wanted to do. But I don't know if we're going to talk about that now.
We can. And in fact, I'm going to skip on and I'm going to move. I'll come back to one of my tricky questions, which was about fashion sustainability, because there's a lot of grubby underbelly with fashion that I would like to chat about. But whilst we're talking about your collection and this change in your business, so the pandemic gave you the opportunity to kind of go, okay, well, it's all bets are off.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do next?
So I was like, right, the entrepreneur in me was like coming up with all these ideas. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And I spoke to loads of business people who thought I was so wacky, because I was saying, do you think this will work? Do you think this will work? And I was second guessing myself. And that's when I thought, you know what, I need to like reel it in and just calm down. I can't do everything, and I can't make everything work out. So during the pandemic, I just thought about things that I really loved and enjoyed. This is completely off topic, but this is a business that I launched during the pandemic. I had an allergic reaction to a necklace, a really bad one actually. And I thought, you know what? Because then after that, I started to make my own jewellery, my own necklaces and things like that.
This was your pandemic, just to keep
just a passion project, just to keep me busy. And it was like a passion project for me. And I was like, what if I could start selling these? Like, what could I get out of this? So I came up with a concept and an idea, and it was so exciting. Made my money back off the first day I launched, which is incredible. That's all I wanted. I was like, as long as I can make my money back, that's fine. After that, it was really slow. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to test the whole social media world, and I'm going to see what the whole fuss is about, like why people send things to influencers and why it works for them and things like that. So I hired someone for marketing, and we started sending out PR packages, and it works. It actually works. Like the reason why people get promoted by these big brands is because influencers are actually influencers. Yeah. They influence their audience to buy the products probably without even thinking about what they're buying. So I sent this necklace out, and I was just getting order after order after order. As soon as she posted it on her story, she only had like 150,000 followers, which is quite small in the influencer game, because they go up and up and up. And I just instantly got so many orders. And then last week, I gave it to another lady who has 1.5 million followers on her Instagram page. And this is the day I was flying out to Portugal, so I actually haven't messaged her. She made a YouTube video, and she had my jewelry in her YouTube, and she's like, she's like, I hate it when people send PR packages and they don't write who sent them. And I was like, that's me. I was like, that's mine. Like, I sent you that. And so I still need to tag my thing in the post. I've just not had internet, and I've come straight here. Yeah. So as soon as I get home, I'm going to tag it, and I'm going to literally on Instagram say, this is me. I sent that stuff to you. Can you just repost it? So it does work. Influencer marketing does work.
That's amazing.
It's incredible. Send it out to people. And I sent it out for free. Do
you think that's unique to the fashion world? As in, is that influencer marketing approach common in the fashion world?
It's so common.
All the time.
It's
is that
so
what people
common.
are doing
It happens. Yeah, that's literally how people make their money.
Do you think that could translate to other parts of the creative industries?
100%. Like you can send anything you have to, and this is when your marketing hat has to come on, your business hat has to come on. As a creative person, the only thing we think about is creative things.
Yeah.
We tend not to think about the business side of things, but in order to run the business, you have to think about financials. And the past, I would say 2 years, I've really been thinking about running a business. I love fashion, and I love the creative part of it, and I think it's extremely important. And I'm praying I get to the point where I can just think about the creative, and I can have other people on board for the other stuff. But up until that point, you have to be smart and you have to make the right decisions financially and contact the right people, but do it with love.
Okay.
Like the people I sent the jewelry to, I genuinely follow and I genuinely love their content. And when I sent them, and when the lady said, oh, I don't like it, like when people don't send the name, I was like, I sent you a card with my tag on there. Yeah. And maybe she just had so many that she didn't even reach it. And I wanted to create something that was affordable as well for people. I'm still growing the Instagram page slowly, but what I've known about Instagram as well is that it's not about how many followers you have, it's about the quality of followers. So how many people are converting sales and things like that. So you could just have like 100 followers, but if those 100 followers absolutely love what you do, that's more important than having 1,000 that don't even engage with you or so. And that's a journey. It's a painful journey, social media. It's so painful, but it's a journey, and it's a journey worth taking. And I think you guys need to put on social media classes for people because like it's so important moving forward.
It's a big part. I think it's a big part of people's businesses, and it's a big part of creative businesses as well. Yeah. But you're quite right in saying it's not why people got into doing what they're doing. You don't make your creative products because you love social media.
No, it's not.
It's a route to that end.
And it's about seeing it in a different light as well. It's for me, it was mostly about the confidence side of it. It's having the confidence to put yourself out there and be able to talk confidently about what you do. And there's some people that do it absolutely amazingly. I'm still getting to that point where I can feel like I'm confident to put my face on there. I don't have a personal social media. I don't have anything. I don't have Facebook or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just LinkedIn. And I think in order to grow, I think it's important to have a presence because people buy from people, don't they? And I think with the fit, that's how I got to this point. It was connecting with people, networking with people, doing events and talking to people face to face. Otherwise, they wouldn't have bought my product.
No, if they can't see it, if they can't see it in the flesh.
Exactly, and they can't see who's behind the brand and things like that. I think it's hard.
Oh, very good. Although I would argue that the recent Facebook outage did remind everybody that social media can get switched off. So although I agree it's massively important, I'd also argue that for small businesses and entrepreneurs, making sure that you have those personal connections, those email connections, those relationships, those direct relationships,
just plugging.
The old MailChimp list, suddenly becomes massively important when you go,
definitely.
They've just switched the internet off, and what am I going to do now? But I don't think that social media is going to go away. So it's finding a way to not be a slave to it, but make it work for your business.
Yeah, definitely. I think for fashion and anyone who wants to get into fashion, it's massive, absolutely massive. You have stores, you have boutiques, you have influencers. It's such a broad range, and I could do personal events with my own clientele. There's such a broad range of things to do. And I think it's all about being brave and just putting the hard work in and testing the water, and don't be discouraged if one doesn't work. I mean, I've done events where I've paid a lot of money to put on the event and I've got no orders from it. However, the exposure was incredible, and it then led me to something else. And we was talking earlier with some people about how it's just about doing it and then it leading to something else and then something else happening. Business is a forever thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. There will never be a point.
There
will never be a point where it just stops and dries up.
So what are you doing now? So we've had the pandemic jewellery business, which sounds amazing. Is that still running on?
Yeah, it is.
It's just taking a little bit of a back burner to your next adventure?
Well, it did take a back burner, but I have someone who does my marketing now, and she's incredible. And she literally says to me, "What are you doing?" She came over to mine and we took a month's worth of content. I haven't posted in a week, which is really bad. I will do today, but it's one of those things. I don't enjoy it, and my aim and my goal will be to hire someone full-time for social media because I see the importance of it. So
it doesn't have to be your own passion.
No, and you can always find freelancers as well. It's not that you can hire someone that's full-time, but you can hire someone that you can get maybe like twice a month or once a month even, to make you a month's worth of content or 6 months worth of content, depending on how much you want to post. And then you can just post in between that. It's just getting a little bit of guidance.
So have you moved, so if the jewellery's sort of...
Yeah, sorry, I'll go back to that.
No, it's good. Happening sort of slightly by itself with help from someone doing the marketing for it. What's the next adventure? What's the next idea?
So I've wanted to launch a ladies ready-to-wear collection for 10 years probably. So that was my end goal. It was always something I wanted to do. And I just never had the time to really sit down and think about what I was actually going to design. Throughout the years, I was always thinking, do I do luxury? Do I do a mid-luxury? Do I do this? And it was always just testing the waters and seeing the market. There's always a market for something.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to remember that. No matter what you do, whether it's luxury, mid-luxury, whatever, there's always a market for something. So that then kind of like disappeared, my worry about that. And the pandemic gave me the opportunity to just sit down and think, right, this is my time now to design a collection. And I've got 10 years worth of experience of dressing women. I know different shapes and sizes and what colors suit people and the silhouettes that suit people. It's like, it's time for me to design a collection for women that's easy for them, that they can look effortless and stylish and they don't have to iron everything. And it's not like too much luxury fabric where they feel as in it's creasing all the time. And I can't wear that. I can only wear that for special occasions. I want to educate women on the importance of everyday luxury. It doesn't have to be silks and all these fancy things. It can be a simple top that you wear in 5 different ways, but it's something that's wearable and that's workable in your wardrobe and sustainable. And so I'm launching a ladies ready-to-wear collection, a brand new brand, and I'm excited. Also very nervous because it's a complete new game for me. And also I'll be doing small, medium and large this time, extra large and obviously the in-between sizes, instead of doing made to measure. So it will be completely online. Yeah. And it'll be a complete e-commerce brand, which is something that's happening moving forward. And I see really big things for this brand.
It's exciting. So, can you tell us any more? Does it have a name?
So the name is Sonce. It's S-S-O-N-C-E, Sonce. The way I came about this name, SS is my initials. It's really daft, to be honest. SS is my initials. S-O-N is obviously my name. And Sonce actually means good luck and prosperity in Irish.
Oh, nice.
And when I Googled, because I just liked Sonce, I just thought it sounded quite Parisian and it was quite luxury and whatever. And I just Googled it. I said, the meaning of Sonce, and good luck and prosperity came up. And I'm so into good luck and prosperity. I need that in my life. And I was like, if this brand can bring me, make my dreams come true with owning a ladies wear brand, then I'm all for it. So it's Sonce. And it's going to be a mid-luxury brand, so it's not going to be too expensive. I'm going to have wearable pieces, so it'll be everyday luxury pieces where you can buy like a t-shirt, not too expensive, but it's something that is made of good fabric, is sustainable, it's ethically made, everything's going to be made in Derby. And
that's great. So it's definitely
a Derby
In
brand.
Derby.
I don't want to say it's like a Derby brand, because I want to share it with the world. But it's going to be made in Derby, which is incredible. And that's one of my goals, was to start doing everything in production in Derby. At the beginning, we will offer obviously the sizes. We will get to a point where we'll keep stock. That's another thing with brands, is that they kind of fall short before they even launch because they've ordered so much stock and they just need to focus on selling it, and it gets quite daunting. So when we begin the brand, we're going to have a line of clothing, but we're going to ask people to give us a little bit of time, an extra 5 days for that piece to be made, but they'll have the reassurance that it'll be ethically made in the UK, in Derby, with our own hands, and we've got experts on board, so it's super exciting.
I love that idea. That kind of leads me on to we've just got a couple of minutes left, literally, onto that idea about sustainability and that important element for fashion, because there's a big backlash at the moment, isn't there, in the fashion industry about how much waste it produces, how toxic the creation of fabric can be, mountains of clothes that go into landfill. And it's really nice to hear that your new concept is kind of taking those thoughts on board. And
definitely, I think moving forward, that is the future. Like, if you look at any stores, for example, Zara, one of the biggest stores in the world, by, I don't know, they're saying by 2028, I don't know, they're going to change everything. So it's more ethical, and in stores going to be more of a sustainable experience. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to do it. Every single brand will have to get to that point where they are clothes are ethically made, and it's not just about going to Primark and buying a t-shirt because it's easy for you. It's about thinking about where your clothing's made and being more aware of having that piece for forever rather than having it for now. And
And that is the future of fashion, I think.
It definitely is the future of fashion. And even with my fabrics, I buy them more from the UK. Don't know where they come from. Should probably ask about where they're actually coming from. I will get to that point where I will look into sustainable fabrics too. But that is an extremely difficult thing to look at.
It's not as easy.
It's not as easy. And also some fabrics, you can't create certain styles with them. So it can be quite difficult. And I'll be here forever designing if I'm going to be doing that. But I just want at the moment to give my clients and future customers a sustainable brand. God, I know I'm going to get all this sustainable army at me. A sustainable brand in terms of it's all ethically made, ethically sourced, and we're lowering the emissions by getting things from overseas and things like that. So
it's nice. It's lovely that it's Derby made. I think that is really nice, and that's true to who you are.
And each piece is going to be like made upon order, and it'll be shipped to your home. So it's all done with love and excitement and good energy. So
that's amazing. I think, time-wise, we are going to have to wrap it up there.
Okay.
But it has been so nice to talk to you. I think we should give Sonia the biggest round of applause for telling us her story.
Thank you.